Intention is, you may say, I want a healing. I want a new job. I want a new relationship. Now, the moment you ask the question, the what if question, what would it be like to be in love? What would it be like to have a new job? What would it be like to be in a new relationship, to do whatever, to be healed? The moment you ask that question, the part of your brain called the frontal lobe, which is the crowning achievement of the human being, 40% of your brain is the frontal lobe. It's the workshop, it's the creative center. Frontal lobe has connections to all other parts of your brain. The moment you ask an open-ended question, you speculate a possibility. The creative center turns on and it looks out over the landscape of the entire brain and begins to call up different networks of neurons that are stored in your brain based on something you've learned intellectually, knowledge, or something you've experienced in your life. Like, well, I know what it is to be in love, or I know what it is to have a good job, or I read a book about it. And it begins to call up these different networks of neurons, and then it seamlessly pieces them together to create a new idea, a new vision. And when you put all those networks together and they fire in tandem, you'll get a clear picture in your mind. And that clear picture is called intention. Now, the more you have conditions, or the more you have specifics about that job, like for example, I want to make this amount of money more a year, I want to have health benefits, I want to have 3 weeks vacation, I want to travel, I want to work with great and unlimited creative people. That all is the elements that help to add to that vision. Now, the picture you get in your mind could be the word job, or it could be just an image that's personal to you. But the image then represents all of those conditions. So you can have several conditions that make up your intention. But the intention typically is a symbol. Like you may see a retreat center that you may want to start and you have a picture of it. But once you see that picture, the next thing that happens, you start to live that dream. The moment you start to take that dream and it turns into a living motion picture, now you're in that imaginary place. And what happens is the moment it starts taking on form and it starts taking on time, you start to experience it and all the things you're going to do, you're actually living in that future, and your brain does not know the difference between the actual event that takes place in your life and what you're imagining in your mind. We call it mental rehearsal in my work, but you're literally rewiring yourself to the future. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. It's now, in fact, a map to the future. Now, most people stop at this level, but there's another level. Because once you have that intention, and I watched you do this, what makes the intention have life is when you combine it with that emotion. Why? Because your body is your unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you're fabricating by thought alone. So your body now, as the unconscious mind, is living in that future in the present moment, and you're beginning to epigenetically change your cells in preparation for that event. So then here's the condition, the caveat. That means then you can't wait for your healing to feel wholeness. You have to feel wholeness for your healing to occur. That means you can't wait for your new relationship to feel love. You have to feel love so your relationship finds you. It means you can't wait to have your new job to feel empowered. You have to be empowered by the thought of your new job. So we're switching the model around because most people wait for something outside of them to change how they feel inside of them. And when they feel better inside of them, they get relief and they say, I like you, you helped me with that. That's cause and effect. That's the old model of reality. What we're talking about here in the quantum model is cause and effect, which means then you are going to have to change how you think and how you feel before the experience occurs in order for the event to find you.
When you start realizing that you can control your emotions, you can control your physiology, that you're the creator, you can think outside the box, you should become inspired by what's in front of you and say, okay, I'm willing to go to a greater consciousness, and I will see solutions to the present circumstances from a greater level of mind. I woke up the other day and I said, okay, what do I believe in? I asked myself, well, what do you really believe in? So then if you believe that you create your life, and this is in front of you, okay, well, this is what we all negotiated and what we created. The other thing I started thinking about is, my goodness, if I truly believe that I'm eternal and I understand it intellectually, if I truly believe that I'm eternal, then I'm going to go all in. I'm not going to be victimized by this. I know we're faced with challenges every day with the way we have to reorganize events and all the things that are changing. But I'm just going to keep staying in that creative state. And if I'm eternal, then I'm going to go all in. If I believe that to be the truth, and I'm going to say, wow, what a great experience. Wow, what a great ride that was. If everybody thought that, and we started to be empowered by that thought, we'd be less fearful. We would be less controlled. We would be more, we fell from singularity. We fell from source, pure love, down into density, fooled into the illusion of separation, which is totally cool. We became when we were one, the other question is, can we be many and be so separate from singularity, from source, that we have our own individuality, our own free will, disconnected from the all, from the one, to experience this gift called life? Well, now more than ever, if we're wanting to apply the principles, we are going to have to unify to that field. And the quantum physics says that everything that's physical and material is connected by this unifying energy. And people don't think that they have access to it. Well, if all of your attention is on the material world and you're focusing on matter, reality is both particle and wave, matter and energy. If you're unaware of the quantum field, you could intellectually understand it, but if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you. And you could have all the dinner conversations in the world, but someone says, I want to put my attention on it. I want to stay present with it. I want to experience it. I want to surrender to it. I want to become more of it and less of me. I want to lose my individuality, my separateness as a consciousness, and keep practicing, connecting with it. I tell you, you keep practicing that, you're going to run into it. And when you do, there's going to be an arousal. We've seen this. I guarantee you that you will stop looking in your outer world for that feeling that you've been looking for your whole entire life when you realize it's coming from within you. And you'll start believing that there's some invisible intelligence that you are an extension of. And people, when they have their first taste of this, it is the most familiar, unfamiliar feeling that they've ever had.